Hello friends, today I'll start with the main part of the IoT devices, hardware and the software part of the IoT devices. Okay, so what are the softwares and hardware parts are required? After that, I'll discuss with related how we can implement the IoT device by using the hardware and the software part, right? So, before come to the hardware and software part, so the name is the IoT. Okay, so IoT means Internet of Things. Okay, so IoT means Internet of Things. So one is the internet, right? Internet of things. Okay, one is the internet. One part is the internet. Another part is the thing. Okay, so when come to the internet, right? So internet. So normally you cannot tell each and every device as a IoT device. When if you connect the internet with that device, so it fulfills some requirement based on the business application. So that time you can tell as a this is a IoT device. Okay. So without internet, without internet, you cannot transfer, you cannot manipulate any input data for IoT device. Okay, in case of the IoT device, you need some input, you need internet, and with the help of the internet, you can modify this input and you can give some action based on the business requirement. Okay, so the internet is related, so this is related to software. Internet is related to software and connectivity. Okay, so under the internet there is a cloud. Okay, so in this cloud, so everything, so if you want to transfer data from the some other device to cloud, you need internet or connectivity. So this internet is come under the software, and along with this internet you will have the cloud. Okay, so the cloud is a one network hub where you can transfer data. Okay, so again, so next is the thing. Okay, so thing is related to object, right? Thing is related to object. Each and every object in which can interact with the physical world. Okay, which can interact with the physical world. So these objects are associated with the thing. So if any object which will have the internet and which can interact with the physical world, that will become a IoT device. Okay, so that means the thing is comes under the hardware part. Thing is comes come under the hardware part. Thing means the physical object. Okay, here physical objects. Okay, physical objects are associated with this. Okay, right? So this physical object, this can sense any kind of the real world. Okay, any kind of the parameter which is associated with the real world. Okay, so based on some requirement, business requirement, with the help of the internet, those input, okay, sensing or detecting input can be processed and give some action. Okay, and give some action by the help of the actuator. Okay, with the help of the actuator, it can some action. Actions means how we can give action. So with the help of the actuator, we can give some action, we can provide some action based on the business requirement. Okay, so under the thing, you can give an example of the thermostat. Okay, thermostat, it has a one temperature device, okay, which can detect the temperature, right? So from the environment it can detect the temperature, and if suppose if the room is hot, so then the heater should be turned on. So how the heater should be turned on? After analyzing the temperature data, whether the temperature data is more mean less or more. Okay, so based on that the temperature data should be modified or analyzed with the help of the internet. Okay, after that the decision can be taken whether the heater should be turned on or off. The heater that is act as an actuator. So by with the help of the heater we are providing some action. Okay, and apart from the thermostat, if we tell about the thing, one another example is our mobile phone. Okay, mobile phone is a one kind of the IoT device, or it is a one kind of the thing. With the help of the internet, we can implement the IoT device. Okay, so you will in the mobile you can see the GPS. GPS is acting as a sensor device, and GPS that is giving the current location. Okay, that it is collecting the current location with the help of the mobile phone. So this current location, by knowing the current location, suppose if you want to go from your home to the other place. Okay, so the you from your home, the GPS can track the current location, your home location, and you need to go somewhere. Okay, how you can go? So mobile should give some action. So how the mobile can give some action? So it will have a one navigation system on speaker. So with the help of the speaker and navigation system, inside the mobile, the speaker will give the information. So which navigation information, which location you have to follow from going your home location to the other location. Okay, so to reach your destination, navigation system will be turned on. Okay, with the help of the speaker. Okay, so your mobile phone, inside the mobile you will have the sensor, actuator, everything. So you can tell mobile as a IoT device. And if we again come to the internet, so internet, so if you want to connect the device can be connected with the internet directly. Okay, and this is so using the Wi-Fi, with any kind of the device can directly with the internet, and it can transfer the sensor input to the cloud. Okay, through the direct internet. And another is the many kind of the device can connect with the internet through the mesh network, that is the Bluetooth. Okay, so one is the directly connect Wi-Fi, direct Wi-Fi connection. Another is the mesh network as a Bluetooth. Mesh network as blue mesh network as a Bluetooth. Okay, so these are about the internet and the thing. Now come to the main hardware and software. So internet, that is associated with the software, and the thing is associated with the hardware. Okay, so think there are the different kinds of the thing which is associated with the hardware. Okay, so now come to the hardware part. Okay, hardware part. In the hardware part, you will have the security system, bridge, the bridge for connecting network, sensor, okay, actuator, module. Okay, so these are normally come under the hardware component. Security system for providing some security, bridge that is connected between the sensor and the actuator. And if you connect to if you transfer the data from sensor to the cloud, you need also bridge. Sensor which sensing the device, actuator which providing some action, and the module is mainly required for providing any kind of the power supply to the sensor or the actuator. Apart from that, you will have the lots of hardware component I will discuss in coming lectures. Okay, so now come to the sensor and actuator. Okay, so first we discuss sensor. So it has the two part. One is the digital, another is the analog. Okay, so sensor, IoT sensor. IoT sensor is the one of the important component of the IoT hardware parts. Okay, which are collecting or gathering the input information for activating some action based on the business requirement. Okay, so you have the one analog sensor, you can see, another is the digital sensor. Normally I will give you the example what kind of what are the analog sensor. Okay, so analog sensor, that means in sensor you will have the analog input, you will have the analog output, and then the further for processing further, this analog output will be processed through the processor, and you will get a analog output. So if the digital output is required, this analog output of the sensor should be processed into the digital inform. Okay, for providing some action. right? So suppose you want to take the temperature data. So it is really associated with the physical quantity temperature. Lots of temperature data you will have in the environment. Okay, today the temperature, in the morning temperature data is 30 degree, in the 10 o'clock temperature data is 30.5 degree. So if you want to collect the temperature data, so you will need the analog sensor, right? So this analog temperature data, that will be converted into the analog output voltage, analog voltage. Okay, so this will be processed for providing some action. Okay, so suppose your temperature sensor, okay, temperature will be the input and the analog voltage. If the digital form is required, so from the analog voltage analog to digital converter is there, so by using the analog to digital converter, this analog voltage will be converted into the digital data. So now come to the digital sensor. So in case of the digital sensor, you can think as a LED. Okay, LED is turn off or turn on. Okay, so light sensor. Okay, so whether the room in the room is dark or light. Okay, inside the room there is a dark or light, that can be detected by the light sensor. Okay, or the light LEDs turn on or turn off. This information can be transferred into the Arduino, right? So here you are giving the digital input. Okay, digital input on oblique off. Okay, you are giving the digital input on oblique off. Okay, here you will also get digital output. So normally if you get digital output from the sensor, it is not required to transfer again the analog. Okay, so this digital output, that will be processed, and again if they are from the digital sensor, you need some action which is associated with the analog. Okay, so this digital output of the sensor, that will be again converted into the digital to analog converter to the digital form. Okay, so here also you will get the voltage, here also you will get the, here it is analog voltage, here is the digital voltage, either it is 0 or it is 1 volt, right? So these are about the digital sensor and the analog sensor. So now inside there are the lots of sensor which is associated with the digital sensor and the analog sensor. Okay, digital sensor and the analog sensor. So I will discuss on the one. First, the temperature sensor. Okay, so this temperature sensor collect the temperature data. From the name you can understand that temperature data from where? From environment. It may be in a room, in the playground, in office, in airport, and anywhere you can collect the temperature data. So here, what this data should be modified. Okay, modify data that will provide to the actuator. In actuator, what will get? So whether the so what can do the thermostat. Thermostat, it is one of the example of the temperature data. Inside the thermostat, you will have the actuator, that is heater. Heater should be turn on or turn off. Okay, here you will have the temperature sensor. Okay, so detect it collecting the temperature data from environment, and the data should be modified, which will provide into the actuator. What will be the actuator? Actuator will be the heater, whether it should be turned on or turned off. Okay, so this is about the temperature sensor. Next is the light sensor. So you can give example of the LDR. Okay, so if you have room, okay, room is light or dark. Okay, so that can be collected by the light sensor. Okay, in every in a building in different location, whether the room is dark or light. Okay, if the room is dark, so some action should required. Okay, so suppose the mobile phone, the torch is there, automatically the torch will be on, or automatically the light will be turned on. Okay, if the room is not dark, room is light, okay, the daytime suppose. Okay, so the light should not be turned on. Okay, the whatever light is there inside the room, the light should be turned on. So that can be detected by the LDR or light sensor. So it will detect the information or light information in different condition of the room. Okay, and then it should be modified and provide the data into the actuator. Okay, so this is about the light sensor. Next is the moisture sensor. Moisture sensor. Okay, moisture sensor. So it detects the humidity. Okay, it's quantity also. It detects the humidity and its quantity. So normally from where it will detect environment also, where you can take the agriculture. In agriculture, in medical lab. Okay, in different location. Okay, the agriculture moisture sensor can detect the moisture quantity or the humidity quantity. In agriculture, normally the moisture quantity can be detected. If the moisture quantity is more, then the water supply is not required. Supplying of the water is not required. If moisture is less, then we have to supply the water into the plant. Okay, so that can be detected by the moisture sensor. In different area also you can use the in medical purpose, in different lab, chemistry lab, you can use the moisture sensor for measuring the moisture content or the measuring the humidity in the from the environment. Okay, so this is about the moisture sensor. Now come to the motion sensor. Motion or proximity. Motion or proximity. Both are almost same. Motion sensor mainly used for the unauthorized objects. Okay, and proximity sensor normally used in different activity in your nearby. Different activities in your nearby location. Okay, so normally in security system, motion sensor is used in the security system for identifying any unauthorized object. Okay, you can use the radar and the my radar and the ultrasonic sensor for the motion sensor. The proximity sensor is almost same as the motion sensor for detecting any activities in a nearby location. Okay, so for a proximity sensor, normally electromagnetic wave is used. So what are the different things? What are the objects there in your nearby location? Here you can use the proximity sensor. Motion sensor normally used for security system. Proximity sensor you can use everywhere, in airport, in your car parking, retail store. Here you can, in different location, you can use the proximity sensor. What are the activities are going on? What are the objects are there? Okay, this thing can be detected by the proximity sensors. Okay, and apart from them, we will have the level sensor. Okay. Level sensor. Level sensor normally measuring the level of the semi-solid, okay, and the granular material. Or quantity or level of the semi-solid granular material. Where you can use for water treatment, waste management, you can use the level sensor. Okay, suppose in dustbin whether dustbin is the full or not. So if dustbin is the full, then it will provide the information to the management water management committee, so that the dustbin can be the waste can be collected by the authority. So for that, the level sensor is associated with the dustbin, which can give the level of the waste. Okay, the level of the quantity of the waste, whether the dustbin is full or not. Okay, in this way you can use the level sensor. And last is the noise sensor. Noise sensor, that is most one of the important parameter for environmental monitoring system. Okay, so or air pollution monitoring system, right? So no, normally noise sensor, it will give some noise quantity, okay, from the environment, right? So it is mainly used, okay, to implement the any system where we can where everyone can work very safely. Okay, if the noise is suppose in a particular location, this will be the the threshold point is decided. This should be the threshold point for this particular location. Look at threshold point of the noise. If the noise is more than this threshold point, so it is detected by the noise sensor. Okay, and it will give the warning system that here the noise is more, so the sound pollution should be reduced. Some barrier and some parameter should be placed implemented in the particular location which can absorb that amount of the noise. Okay, so for reducing the noise pollution, noise sensor is mainly used. So I hope you like my video. So please like, share and subscribe my channel. In upcoming lecture, I will start with the other parameter of the hardware component and the software component of the IoTs. Thank you.